Hello from the car. Dr. Rachel Gilmore here. Just Rachel is fine. As I tell my patients, Dr. Rachel, Dr. G, Dr. Gilmore, the kids at the gym even call me Miss Rachel sometimes. So whatever works. Hello, beautiful. Thank you for joining me today. I hope you're having a lovely day. It is beautiful down here in South Alabama. It is nice and warm in the 90s, and we're supposed to get a heat index that is incredible this weekend. But I jumped on here today to share a message with you that is, I'm always going to say they're near and dear to my heart, because everything I seem to learn and every experience that I'm going through, especially in the past couple of months and really in the past couple of years, and I'll be sharing my journey with you here in the coming videos as I expose you to new concepts and new things, and just hopefully help inspire, incite, empower you to begin to heal yourself, because there have been so many revelations that are, to me, life-changing, from things like healing past traumas to thinking about insights that I've had about my healing journey personally and the way that I'm able to impart that healing onto my patients. For those of you that don't know, I am a doctor. I'm a chiropractor by trade. I like to say that because I really don't identify with just a chiropractor any longer. I identify with, you know, if you want to identify with a purple monkey, that's totally fine with me. No judgment here. I am a speaker. I am an empowering coach, I guess you could say. I'm all of these things. I'm a mom, I'm a wife, I'm a dog mom, cat mom. We even had sugar gliders at one point. I like to call myself a plant parent too, but we're working on that one. So the lesson for today for you is to listen to your body. And I talked last time about how the brain can change and how the mind can start to heal you. And I want to take that a little bit further today. And we're just going to go with this. This video is not planned. I have some thoughts that I want to share. Some of them will be structured where I've actually sat down, you know, and done some research, some background to be able to share with you. But today we're just going to fly with this on my drive into help create a new space for myself, which is so exciting. Because when you open yourself up to awareness, to new realities, to manifesting and visualizing concepts and where you want your life to go, the incredible thing about that is the way that things change and the speed at which they change can be so fast sometimes. I thought that years ago when we moved from Trustful, and it was at this point 2 years ago, will be 2 years in this fall, was fast. We sold our house, we put it up for sale, sold our house. I closed, you know, the job and the chapter of life that I was in at that point in a matter of months, in a matter of 2 months actually. And before that, I had been visualizing and working on where I wanted to go and where, you know, I wanted to be, and it led me to where I'm about to open my new space in, that hopefully will be a peaceful mecca of just an amazing space to be able to share more content with you, because that's what I'm called to do. I'm here to speak to you. But back to that awareness. Yes, neuroplasticity exists, and concepts in the brain can change. The brain that fires together wires together, brain that doesn't fire together doesn't wire together. You know, I talked about that last time. So if you want more on that, go check out the first long form YouTube video that is posted right before this one, and you can find those concepts there. Now let's talk about something else today. How was I able to heal myself? How was I able to heal myself? How was I able to get myself out of pain? This is a really in-depth topic, but what I want to hone in on today with you is the concept of awareness, of your perception. Your reality is crafted based on perception, based on the way that you perceive the reality around you. People like Joe Dispenza say, personality is your personal reality. Your perception of your situation can create your experience. And we find this when, you know, we're talking about healing past traumas and diving into memory and various concepts like that to try to heal yourself. Believe me, some people may persecute me for saying the things that I'm going to say on this channel, but this is a message that I have to deliver to you. I have to, because I'm living proof that this is possible. I no longer believe in my heart of hearts that I am the one healing people. I'm not so sure I believed that in the beginning anyways. I got into chiropractic on a prayer, I'm gonna say. And for those of you that are not religious, I welcome you here as well. I may talk about God and about religion and things like that in a very small factor. It's a big factor for me, but in different, ways on this channel. And I want you to feel comfortable in this space. So whatever you believe, whether it's God, whether it's Purple Monkey Dishwasher, as our friends Matt from the Full-Time Purpose group say, you are welcome here to share your beliefs. And we'll talk about that later too, because I also studied world beliefs at one point in my career in psychology, and the way that it relates to your psychology and your social experience and heightening belief systems and things like that. All of those things will come into play with all of these lessons that I'm going to share with you, because I've got a lot to share. Those that know me, I told somebody yesterday that I actually was quiet at one point in the day before, and they looked at me like, wow, you didn't have anything to say? And I went, no, I didn't. So, but I have a lot to share with you. And going back to that awareness, that how I healed myself, how I'm able to live the majority of my life now without pain. Yesterday, I was able to squat 265. I've gotten up to 275 this past month, last month in May, and I don't have pain the next day in my back. Those of you that don't know my story, let me just give you a little bit of background, and I'll tell the whole story one day, because I've never openly shared it on a public channel before besides my Facebook and Instagram, and you kind of have to dig for it. It's not right there that you can grab. So, and my intention is to be able to share my experience with you more and live in my truth and be able to hopefully impact you in your lives at home and give you some practical things that you can take away, or just conceptual things that hopefully will sit with you and begin to spark that seed of imagination and of a new reality and of a new awareness in you. I was thrown out of a car in high school, and I survived what should have been a deadly crash. I was thrown out into the road, broke my pelvis in a couple places. The long story short is that I recovered faster. When I was thinking about this morning, this message to share with you, I recovered faster than they expected. I was back walking before they expected. It didn't take me that long. I don't recall ever having physical therapy, actually, which is kind of crazy. I may have had 1 or 2 sessions, but I myself and through my body was able to heal. And I have a massive curve in my spine. I dealt with immense chronic back pain for years, up until the past few years. That's important, so remember that. Up until the past few years. So some people tell me I'm a walking miracle. If you want to believe that, then that's all right. I feel very humbled about my story, and I really had to dig deep and look at the experience and say, all right, where has it led me now? What have I discovered? What have I taught myself? I said a minute ago, and I said earlier, that I'm not the one that heals my patients. I have hundreds and hopefully thousands of stories. I'd have to go back and count at this point how many people I've actually treated over the past 4 years since graduating, of people that now live without pain. And we can talk about why some people never recover from pain. I want to go into that too, why some people are able to heal, why it takes some people, others to guide them. I'm a guide. I tell my patients, I'm your awareness coach. One of my colleagues yesterday said he describes himself to patients as a consultant now. We can call me whatever you want to. I'm going to call myself the awareness guide for now, okay? My awareness of the situation, and I said yesterday, and multiple times actually recently in the past week, because this has been something that's come up for me in healing past traumas and reconnecting to past memories, and just trying to become the person that I want to be, to share these gifts with you, because I've had to grow immensely over the past 10 to 12 years to be able to get to where I'm at now, and I'm only scratching the surface. Oddly enough, life works in mysterious ways. My phone just got overheated and I had to turn it off at 1:11. I apologize because the heat down here is immense. But back to what I was about to tell you. It's good. It's that good. The universe is giving me this gift, and things are trying to prevent me from sharing this message today. You'll find that that's also distractions come up in your life when you're trying to share things with people that will actually mean something or that could help people. I can can talk about that. Got a lot of things to talk about. But that awareness that I was telling you about, that I recently have recalled to my memory, is that when I stopped trying to microanalyze the reason why I was having pain, when I stopped trying to say, okay, because of this movement, I need to move into this movement, and I need to work on this side and that side, and I need to do this and do that, and I started looking at myself as pain-free, and my perception of my pain changed. I'm no longer in pain. I have pain sometimes, and pain is a part of life. Struggle is a part of life, and doing hard things and the mental resiliency that I talk about so often on my Instagram channel, Dr. Rachel Gilmore. If you haven't followed me, go check it out. It's because our perception creates reality. If I perceive that I can't lift the 265, 275 amount of weight when I go up to that squat bar, and I'm worried about it and worried about increasing my pain, I'm not going to be able to lift that weight. Not going to be able to. Now, there are concepts, and we're not going to negate the evidence that, your body has a tolerance point, and we have to pay attention to those things, but it also stems from awareness. Awareness in your body that, are you doing too much? Are you irritating something that's already irritated? Like those type things that I can talk about from the perspective of being a doctor who treats musculoskeletal nervous system injuries and does it very well for that matter. This is not about me, cheers for Rachel kind of video today. Like I said, I'm a vessel. I'm a guide. I'm an awareness guide. And my awareness of my experience went from trying to fix everything and trying to find the reason, because we're humans. We want a reason to pin to something. Why do you go get images? Why, do image finding seem so important to people sometimes? Because it points to a cause, which is another topic. It's not actually the cause a lot of the time. Sometimes it is. So, but when I started to really look at myself differently and pay attention to the awareness in my body, what's tight? Yes, I do know what movements to do. I do know how the biomechanics of joints work and how, mobility, stability, and strength need to happen to be able to create these things. So sometimes, I've said this multiple times in my past on various channels, you need a guide for yourself, but you have to view yourself as somebody, a person, a vessel who can be healed. If people view themselves as a broken, in pain person that can't be healed, that pain might not go away. It might not. I've seen it before. People don't think they can be helped, and they won't be able to be helped. And I tell my patients, whatever you feel, whatever you believe is going to help you, is going to help you. That's why one modality doesn't work for everybody. Everybody's different. I've tried, since I've been in practice, multiple combinations and taking away modalities and using modalities and only using exercise and only using this and only using that. And there is a constant. Exercise and strengthening is going to help you the most in the long term. But everybody's different. Everybody believes that something helps them, and that's the thing, like dry needling a spot, that lets it go. It may actually help, and it may be the person's perception that combines with that experience. Remember, I said perception and awareness of that helps them the most. If they truly believe it's going to help, it's going to help. When I started to look at myself as that and not look at my pain, and I never looked at myself as a victim to my pain. I always looked at myself, this is part of that insight I was talking to you guys about earlier. I always looked at my experience as a gift. Long years ago, I didn't really know what that gift truly meant for my life. I had, before I went to chiropractic school, I never knew that it would impact me this much and be able to share it with you all like I have. But I never felt like a victim to the situation, or I'm sure I did back in the very beginning, I guess. Trying to process trauma, trying to process everything. I used to have severe anxiety in cars because in the rain, because the wreck happened during kind of a rainy time. I was a passenger, so that experience, I had to work through that and that anxiety over time. We'll talk about that in the coming videos too, my anxiety journey, because it's part of healing. It's part of healing you and helping you. But all of that aside, yes, I have specific knowledge and things like that, but there's nothing that says you can't learn those things too. Before I ever went to school, I started lifting because just a aspiring fitness trainer at the time. You know, had gotten into bodybuilding and fitness, and this was back probably about 12 years ago at this point. And I was like, well, I showed up to a 24-hour gym, got my membership, had no experience, was lifting no more than 3 pounds, doing like a side lateral raise for shoulders. I was super weak, had no muscle other than what, you know, God gifted me. I'd never really lifted before except for spotty times in my life before that. A little bit of boxing before that. So, you know, not super gifted in athletics or anything. Didn't have the knowledge yet. And I was like, if I go and start, my back's what's bothering me. So if I go start strengthening my back and working my back out, doing back exercises, simple back exercises, then I wonder if this will heal it. I wonder if this will help. Turns out it did. If you followed my journey on Instagram, then you know how important that concept is to me now. But it was my awareness of the situation and the inkling that I could help myself. I remember the day that the chiropractor told me I was probably going to have surgery, and that if my curve got 3 degrees worse, that he was going to send me out to a surgical consult. And I politely looked at him. He was a family friend and a dear chiropractor and is very good. And I said, no, thank you. I don't want a brace. I don't want surgery. And I remember walking out to my car, my little Eclipse that was, you know, dirty and on the inside, and in an old car that I had traded in, and my dad got mad at me for trading in the other vehicle. And I stopped outside and I looked up at the sky and I said, see, my perception of the situation has changed, because if we perceive it negatively, then that's what we're going to experience, and that's what we're going to hold on to. But I said it to myself, and I vowed that day, when I didn't even know where my life was going to go. I was working in retail and, you know, I was still in school for my undergrad, didn't even know where I would be today. Probably almost 20 years later, a little bit less than 20. And I said to myself, I vow today, this day, that as long as it takes me, sorry guys, it's a little passionate about this, and I'm sure it comes through. I vowed to myself that I would figure out how to avoid that surgery, how to heal my pain. And I didn't know that that little piece of empowerment, that little piece of awareness would become so important, probably to so many people, and hopefully, and actually we're just going to state it, we're going to manifest it right now, millions of people one day I will be able to tell this story to. That's the cool thing about YouTube, is that we have the vehicle to be able to do that. And I can proudly say that I have figured that out. It's funny even telling this story a minute ago, and I've been sitting for a minute today, and I exercised yesterday. I started to get a little bit of pain in my back. Your emotions, your experience that it evokes can hold on to that pain experience. And we'll go into the neurology of that and everything in the coming videos too. So if you have any questions about that, drop them in the comments. Any questions about any of this, drop them in the comments, you know, comment, hopefully good things. We don't want negativity on this channel. I'm not going to delete comments, but I may not respond to it if it's that way. So, but you have the freedom to voice your opinion and voice your questions. This is the space for you. That vow that I made to myself, little did I know, would seed the empowerment for me for the rest of the journey up until now and in the future, to heal myself and to help myself with that pain. The journey has been long, it has been vast, but it started with what I didn't know at the time was awareness of my own power. The power that made the body can heal the body was something that we were told in school. I truly believe that. And, you know, there's a lot of systems out there nowadays that might rival that opinion and that quote. But that's okay. There are probably hundreds, maybe millions of people that are living proof that that concept is reality. But the person has to believe it's reality. They have to have the awareness. Now, part of the message I wanted to share with you today is what I share with my patients often. Your perception of your pain, and I already said a little bit of this earlier, has a major impact on your experience. If you perceive that you cannot heal and that pain will be around forever, that is going to be your reality. And you created that in your thoughts, in your brain, with your possible lack of awareness. And that's okay. Sometimes we are not aware, and sometimes we don't know it. People that find themselves sometimes, and y'all, when I make statements like anxiety and depression, I'm coming from a place of experience. I'm not coming from a, quit going to your therapist or quit taking your medications, because I would never tell you that. I cannot tell you that legally. Cannot tell you that. But I'm coming from a place of experience. The reality that we create is the reality we're going to experience. Now back to the awareness piece. Let's talk about that a little bit with mobility and with the concepts that I talked about, like breathing on the last video. Let's bring that in a little bit more into focus. Now, and for the past 5-6 years, if not longer, just not knowing I was doing it back in the very beginning, I was aware of the areas that were tight. And now if I'm aware of something that is painful or tight in my body, I go into the movement that I feel my body needs. And like I said, it comes with some knowledge. So if I need to help you, if you're out there, I'm just going to plug for this. I do online coaching. I do individualized programs. I do custom solutions. And we will help you if you are willing to be helped. So reach out to me. There's information on how you can do that, and book a call with me in the information in these show notes here. Now, if my back is tight, I know that I need to loosen up my hips some. So I'll go do some hip mobility drills, or maybe some hinging, some deadlifting. I've said on my Instagram many times that I tend to deadlift 2 to 3 times a week for a reason. Not heavy, not overloading my system so much. I do that about once a week for prime movers like squat, deadlift, presses, things like that. Major movers. But I'll go in and I'll just pick up a bar, pick up a lightweight, whatever that is for you, and just move into my hips, move into my back, activate the core a little bit more. We'll talk about that later too. But I give my body what it needs. I lean into that awareness of what my body is feeling. And I don't judge it. I'm not scared of it. At one point in time, I was scared of it. I thought that the pain that I'm having on my side right now was one of my organs getting pinched by a rib. This was before I had any knowledge of biomechanics, so don't judge me. I'm not judging myself anymore because I think it's kind of comical. But some of you may end up in doctor's offices and emergency rooms because you truly feel like something sinister is going on in your body. And I have patients every day. I've had patients that thought they were having a heart attack because of maybe a rib in the thoracic spine that's a little restricted or not moving, and giving them some pain into their chest. When we get them into awareness of their breath and their mind that can help regulate this pain, that's where pain starts. It's in your mind. They're able to bring themselves down from that pain experience. It's the same thing that I do now. Take a breath with me right now. In through the nose and out. Opening up the diaphragm. Decrease that little bit of pain response that I'm having in my back right now. Is it going to make it go away completely? No, it's not. And we'll talk about that at a later date too. But that awareness of your body and leaning into the movement that you feel like you don't want to do, but you need. I tell patients to get close to the pain. Don't blow past it when you're moving into it, especially in yoga, stretching, exercise, things like that. Don't blow past the pain. That only heightens the pain response, and we see that in the cycle of chronic pain. Acute injuries are a little bit different, and we actually need to treat those. I will backtrack on that. Actually, we need to treat those similarly. We need to load them to the point of tolerance. What you tolerate is going to be different than somebody else. Say you and your husband, or you and your spouse, or you and your friend are experiencing the same type of pain. You may have a different tolerance for something than your friend does. Different stimulus, different tolerance, different experience, different awareness. And you have the power within you to bring that back down again, and to move into areas that will help you more. Movement has changed the lives of so many people, but it's not just the movement. It's not just pathomechanical, meaning from your body and from your biomechanics and from a cause in your biology, from your body, from the way that you perceive it. So let me leave you with that gem today. Awareness and perception are going to be gifts in your healing process. The biggest gift that you can give yourself is to start to pay attention to your own body, and start to pay attention to the experiences that you have and the way that you perceive the reality around you. We're going to talk about that in the coming videos as well. Pay attention. Give yourself that gift today. I'm going to end this video here and hope that you got something out of this today. I always love connecting with you and sharing my wonderful gifts with you. I know it was a little rambly today, and I'm not going to judge myself for the content in this video today or the way that it came across, because it's still sharing a gift with the world. And I want you to do that going into this weekend. I don't want you to judge yourself. I want you to become aware of things, to slow down and really perceive what's going on around you. And I will look forward to the time that we get to speak again. With all the love and blessings, I hope you have a wonderful day and a wonderful weekend. And we will talk soon, my friends.